Hi guys, I'm back. Today I have made a redesign of my character, once again, as I do every time I feel like my style has drastically changed or improved or, made a difference in some way. This piece took me over 9 hours, and, yeah. I found some parts and inspiration, and I will describe those as we go on. For some reason, I was struggling so hard with the wing shape. Like, last time it felt so natural, and now you can see me doing all these, like, triangles and stuff just to figure out how to do it. Yeah. I might have to trace the wings if I ever do this in not a redraw. Because, oh my god. For such a simple shape, I feel like it's so complicated. But yeah. Moving on. Most of the details have stayed the same. Not much has changed. Her design really hasn't changed. It's more of the style. So, as I was drawing this, I was thinking about what I wanted to do different with her this time. And one of the few things I did differently this time was the ears. And I think I also did the frills a little differently, but I can't remember. I was testing out how to do paws here because I wanted to change them. And I actually got inspired because I saw Gemma's redesign, and I really liked how those feet look, so I kind of based it off of that. But yeah, I changed how the ears look, and I changed how the eyes look, along with the feet. And I think my next project is going to just be some practice on how to draw different poses. And if you guys have any suggestions for poses, let me know. And if I pick yours, I will make sure that your character gets to be the one in the pose. So, I don't know if I'll color those in. We'll have to see, but that's going to be my next project. Another thing I changed were the markings. As you can see, she's now got like feet markings, and the markings on her shoulders are a little different. I really liked the idea of like cat paws. I was in a very like cat paws, socks, mittens day, so that got added into the design. And I actually wasn't sure if I liked the color, but I think it turned out well, and especially in the end design. Yeah, so that's kind of it. I also changed her eye colors very, very slightly to be slightly lighter. Not a huge change, tiny little change, but that's just what I did. Now that we're heading on to the jewelry, I changed up the jewelry just a little bit, making the clasps be stars, adding more clasps, trying to get better folds in the fabric. I changed her crown, and a lot of her jewelry got changed slightly. And I think I added a couple pieces as well. And what you'll see later is that I also added way more flowers to her this time. And I tried a different shading technique on her. I saw like this really cool watercolor painting, and I kind of wanted to mimic something similar. I think it used like baking soda or something to get like splotchy, and it was really cool. So I wanted to try that out. Let me know how I did. I also tried a different version of shading on the wings because I didn't like how rough they looked in the last one. I wanted them to have a very silky look because butterflies, they don't have very rough wings, do they? And I really liked how this was going, but then as you see in the finals design, I went back to the design. I used the shading, but I kept this shading, so I just added more shading, if that makes sense. But I think it was for the better. Another thing that I changed, as you will see later in the recording, I basically added the background drawing part into the video, which I don't usually do for these. Usually I kind of skip that because that's not the main focal point. but I kept it in this time, and I want to know what you guys think. And then I went in and did my normal shading for the generic, just giving a little bit of depth. And then I started adding the flowers and stuff. Now, I had to go do this part twice over because I didn't really like how it turned out the first time. I felt like it needed more, or they needed to be bigger, or just something. And then here's me trying to figure out how to do something fun for the reference sheet and the reference colors. And I thought I was going to do a flower, but then I absolutely hated it. And then I wanted to do a cloud, but that didn't feel like it fit. And then I was just like, I'll just make like a color scheme. And I didn't like that. So it ended up being butterfly wings. And even though some spots are kind of hard to get, you will find every color that I used on her here. So, reference sheet update. I'm trying to put a little bit more effort into her reference sheet nowadays. Yeah. And then here's my process of drawing the background in the, normally. So I kind of do the same thing every time. And for some reason, I was really struggling with the lighting this time, unreasonably. And this is where I decided that there needed to be a little bit more on the wings because I thought they were too plain. So I went back and I kept adding to it and adding and adding, and it just became a whole thing. And I think I redid them 6 times. But yeah, I was struggling with the light because for some reason I couldn't get it just right this time. Past times, yeah, it takes me a little while to get the color right, but I was really struggling here. But I think I finally got it. I'm not sure, though. You'll have to let me know. And a lot of she's very shiny this time. I feel like my design is progressively getting shinier and shinier. And also a lot more detailed. But I'm super proud of it. This is definitely the best version of her that I've ever made. And, yeah, that's kind of all that I've got design-wise. And while this is doing that thing, before I have something else to talk about, I'd like to touch on the fact that I was going to do an animation. It's kind of got installed just because lost motivation, but I will try to pick it back up. Do you guys want to be surprised by, a work in progress later and have, the entire sketch done, or do you want a work in progress now of just the first scene? Because I have the first scene done line art, well, not line art, sketch-wise, and, getting the poses out. And another thing, would you prefer if I stopped animating it and made it into an animatic? Or if I should just keep animating it? Anyway, I was trying out a lot of different brushes for this, for the background, because I wanted something new. And then I also was struggling with what to make the background color for her reference sheet, because it can't clash with her, it can't be too close in color. And she's, all the colors, so that was a real struggle. And then here's me trying to make a paw, because dragon paw. But that didn't turn out well, and I scrapped it, and I started over. And I kept making little itty-bitty details that you can't really tell in the recording, but they're there, I promise. I promise they're there. One of the things that I did add, if you notice it, I don't know if you can, but I used, hashing lines for shading, and I've done that a couple times in my art, and I think it's a really cool way to add depth. I do think I need to improve on it, though. For the background, I ended up going with some pink flowers that were very faded with white and green outlines. Both of these, the reference sheet and the final product, will be posted shortly into my community posts if you want to see them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and leave a comment down below what you want to see next or anything else. I try to get around to all your comments. Bye!